Welcome back. Game 2. Hi, everybody. I thought I'd just start us off with a little bit more of a, like a, just... I may have finished the extra can of Red Bull, but don't worry. We can...
2 per game? Did you change it?
No, it's one per game. That's why this will drop. This is your real countdown. We don't need that PGL production value crap. Like, we just need to have a countdown of cans to the end of the day.
We could do that, yes. Yeah. Or we could just clean up after ourselves.
I did. That's why the other can's gone.
What, did you put it under the table or something? I know it's not a garbage bin. That's right. I see through
So
your
we put
lies.
under the rug. You had to be one of those kids, right? It's like, you know what, I got all this rubbish. What do I do as a kid? Do I actually put it away? Do I put it in the bin? Or does it go under the bed?
I don't... sorry, guys.
Yeah. We're in, man. it's fine. We're in the lobby. So we're just waiting for our observer to actually be in the lobby.
Yeah.
Then we can move forward. But yeah, we have OG versus NAVI. Let's talk about the matchup, Kevin. So OG, a little bit rough for them lately. Not the greatest performance they were really looking for during ESL 1 Katowice. I
think they did a little better than their average there, I would say. And they just had a hard matchup they had to play against Liquid. They definitely didn't look consistent at all stages of the game. Like, I'm thinking of Rezo's Storm game. It looked pretty bad the first 10-15 minutes, and then he ends up godlike. So it's like, okay, he's good. But
yeah, but I don't think that was on... Like Resolution did the best he could with that here, but at the same time, like, we're all sitting out the back there saying that Storm Spirit's a piece of crap.
He didn't do the best he could. He did a relatively good job, but he showed some unfamiliarity with the hero on some of his jumps. Yeah. And then later he did the best he could. But like, you can't discount that first like 15 minutes where he looked a little sloppy at times, is what is my point. So I feel like that's kind of the story of OG, is that they obviously still have tons of potential, but they haven't quite hit it yet. Therefore, we'll be there soon, is maybe the story. But I think they definitely have the potential. This could be the tournament that they do really well. You never know. Yeah,
I've been saying that about OG for a very long time.
Everyone has.
Yeah, well, you thought, like, you just came out the back of TI. It's like, okay, well, you traded that Anna. They're going to try and bring someone else in. Okay, we're going to bring the savior of Team Empire, Resolution, into that lineup. Like, okay, he's just going to gel really, really well. And there didn't really seem to be that gel straight away. And then it felt more like OG moved into that for Protect 1, which is what Empire basically just did. It's for the glory of Resolution at TI. I
mean, that's sort of how they were playing in their previous team as well. Like, to say that their style is that different is, I mean, I don't necessarily know why it's going worse. Maybe their drafts aren't up to the meta. I think a lot of it is that they won so many tournaments over the last year and a half that a lot of their favorite heroes got banned over and over and over again. It's like literally their play style has been banned out over time because they won so many majors. Like, there's things like that impact in the long run. So yeah, we can still say they're having some issues, but maybe, I don't know, who knows? There's so many things that could affect whether or not they win or lose, and we'll see how they go.
Let's have a look at our featured matchup. So it's Lil versus Jirax in this one. Jirax, like, you talk about featured players, for me, like, he always set the pace of OG with his roaming ESs and his great 4-position heroes. Lil, the new addition to NAVI. NAVI going through some roster changes recently. Thank you very much, Lil, for putting NAVI in the top 8 towards TI. They'll need to actually get a result in order to keep that top 8 position.
How did you feel about him at Katowice?
About Lil?
No, you know, like, Navi as a whole. Lil seemed like he played fine to me.
I think Lil played better than most of Navi. I was watching him, and he was always getting great vision. He was always moving around the map. He was always
bounty a lot,
always an influence. Yeah, he was playing the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So I felt like he actually brought a lot more information and a lot more presence to the Navi lineup, but it didn't feel like the rest of Navi connected with what he was thinking. Like, it was very disjointed in my mind when I was watching them play, and I'm just like, okay, where's...
I don't know if I'd say very. I think they played decent. I think they looked a little consistent. They have been. I mean, I know that there was a lot of stress released on the internet by some of their players and coaches and stuff, saying that they got in the game and they just kind of flustered. But I kind of view that as like a early team, and maybe it's not early, isn't the right way to say it, but some of their players, it's basically a new roster adding LeBron and Lil. So I think.
But
they've got time to grow.
It shows you, like, the difference. Well, like, yeah, maybe LeBron's like the bigger focus, because it's not an easy comparison just to say, like, Navi and VP, they're the teams that switch the players. Obviously, VP having a couple more problems earlier today up against Optic, but like when you saw Roger come into VP. He was just there landing stuns, and the rest of VP were there to back him up. They were there to actually match the same rhythm.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was the same kind of thing when Lil came over. NAVI was still playing NAVI style. Lil was giving them more information, was probably expecting them to be like his old team, to be right behind him and always there. But NAVI, I don't know, like, I can't remember who it was that described it on the panel in Katowice, but basically said, like, Navi's this team is like, okay, so what were they? They were a one-trick pony. Hey, Artstyle's going to pick Enchantress. All right, this is going to be the way they play. So I'm kind of hoping that, like, when Navi play and when Navi draft this, they actually give us a feeling like everything will sync, and then they can execute the same.
I think syncing on a team level comes down to a lot of things, including confidence. Like, if you think you're the best team in the world, like VP does, then it's easy to always see opportunities, because you know that when you see opportunities, you're seeing them before your opponents do. And if you're a team like NAVI, who has been a Tier 2 team for a very long time, for like 2 years plus, then it's easy to lose confidence sometimes, or to feel like you don't understand the meta as well, or for maybe doubts to creep in, or losing recently to cause issues. Like, there's so many possible reasons that things could happen. And I guess it's just easier to look at them and say, are they getting better? And I would say they had some major mistakes, but it didn't look as bad as before. So I would say
I can agree with that.
They have the potential. I think they're a team that I would keep an eye on. I wouldn't necessarily say I think they're going to be a standout team. That's how I describe it.
So you've been the positive one. They're at least walking forwards, not backwards.
Yeah, and I think OG's on the same trajectory right now. So I think this will be a fun matchup to see who ends up pulling through. So interesting thing, OG opens with an Earth Spirit. Nobody's doing that right now.
No, but you have GRX in your lineup.
Yes.
And that instantly it's like, okay, well, I'm okay with this now.
I mean, he's an amazing Earth Spirit. Definitely at various points, he's been the best Earth Spirit in the world. But I feel like it's been a long time since I've been like, JRX, Earth Spirit. Maybe that's just because Earth Spirit's been not the most OP hero in the world. He's received handfuls of nerfs slowly over time, but...
Does he actually fit in the current meta of the ES? Because most of the heroes who go into the mid lane are these, like, we stand and we harass kind of style heroes.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a ganker in that he rolls in, does damage, and chases people. He's not so much of a dual off lane, slap heroes kind of a hero. So I guess if you're to make him work, you would want to pair him with a core that's a little tankier. So maybe something, I don't know if Tide makes sense, but that's kind of my first thought. Pair him with something that's tanky as an off lane, so you're kind of supporting that person to provide the disable that the tanky hero doesn't have enough of. So I'd probably aim at something like that, or pair with somebody like Death Prophet, also tanky, does a lot of damage. Try to do a dual lane in that way.
I like the Sire that came out from Resolution. I don't know if that was the moment. It was around the same time as DP was picked, and then what? They just say, oh yeah, by the way, Resolution, you're playing that, and you got to play that against a potential Razor mid.
Yeah, doesn't sound very fun. No,
like, because isn't that also counterintuitive? So I got to stay close to keep the Spirit Siphon up, but then I have this Razor just linking me, so I need ways to make the distance. This is where Jirax can come into play with the ES. Like, you get that kickback on the Razor, and you stop these kind of initiations, but then Disruptor's on the field too. This just seems like a world of hurt for Death Prophet.
And definitely interesting, they banned out Dark Willow first, finding some value there.
Maybe Navi has been playing around with that a little bit too.
I could see that. Lil seems like that kind of a guy. Like, test out new heroes, find cool ways to abuse them. Yeah. Things like that. Now they're banning out some 1v1 matchup heroes. Enchantress is definitely under that category in the first phase, and
yeah, they took out both the junglers in this one, but now Terrorblade and Omni Knight find their way into the ban pool.
I don't know if find, it's more like are still there.
Yeah.
Is how I would describe it, perhaps.
It's like that. Like, you almost wait until second phase ban for this type of stuff. Like, what do we really hate? Where's that Broodmother ban to come out again? Don't ever forget about the 5th pick Brood when it can really work.
I mean, Terrorblade's Reflection no longer reduces attack speed, so watch out, man. Terrorblade's far weaker now. Nah, I'm just kidding, that doesn't matter.
I'm about to say, sometimes I have no idea if you're actually trolling me or not.
It really is. It's good against like agility heroes. Like, for enemy agility heroes, you're happy with that nerf, but it doesn't affect the hero's value that much. PL being banned out as well. Kind of heroes that can just overwhelm somebody like Death Prophet, so probably those unfavorable matchups in the mid lane.
I'm interested to see a little bit more from the rest of the draft. Actually, this man on our screen right now, S4, like what he plays in this game, like, is there a way that
any cooking-themed heroes?
Any well, I've seen Ogre, like multiple hands, one head for each hand to know what he's cooking.
Oh.
I remember just seeing a chef thing with Ogre before.
Okay, probably just some like fan thing. I'm not sure if there's any cooking heroes.
DeviantArt's a great place to find all this stuff.
Yeah. sure you have a lot of experience with that website.
Yes, there's some fine artwork there, Perch. Fine artwork. Just like I know I go to galleries as well and see fantastic artwork.
I just had to throw that one in. It was too good.
Yes.
It was too good, man. Oh, man. Okay. Nothing wrong with that website.
Hey, you know you changed me, bro. You know you changed me. Oh, Beastmaster Connell is possible. He actually didn't get banned out, the Keeper of the Light. So,
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a good opportunity. I think Beastmaster is pretty good against both Earth Spirit and Death Prophet. They're fairly low armor in the early game. Very good at pressuring, good lockdown to set things up.
I'm wondering if OG even thinks about block picking him, just so they have to deal with the combination. Yes, and Connell is still fine as a duo for OG.
Yeah, it'd be okay, I guess. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's something that pairs well together, I guess, in the sense that...
Hey, you could always run the Bristleback as well. That was great earlier today.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I feel like that you have to think about Caudle in a way other than just hero combinations. It has to be more like, does Caudle provide the tools in the game that you need, like resisting split push, recalling people around? Because as a dual offlane zoner guy, like, yeah, he works in some dual lanes, but it should be more about the team stuff. Whereas, like, Witch Doctor is like, you put Witch Doctor in any lane, Witch Doctor's going to have a good time. You cast Maledict, everybody dies, Toby, you know? Like,
it's also
that's all that matters.
It's a stupid debate anyway. Why am I thinking Fly is going to play anything other than a Witch Doctor?
That's true. I mean, he was honestly wrecking Witch Doctor at the last major. Like, when they lost, Witch Doctor was banned.
It was banned.
That's why they lost, guys.
Game.
Like, his Witch Doctor was so sick. Like, constantly was that one Enigma game that when they were against the Enigma, he wrecked that game. Anyways, Witch Doctor, Maledict, Amplification, amazing against Beastmaster. It's one of the heroes that does trade well against him in some early skirmishes, so completely makes sense to go for that.
His last game, so for all of ESL 1 Katowice, he played 5 games of Witch Doctor and 1 game of Rubik. And then the last series against Liquid, which was banned both times, and then he played Rubik and Disruptor. So he won.
That's the one I'm thinking.
He was 3-2 as far as the Witch Doctor games go.
I don't care how many times I lost on Witch Doctor. He's ownage Witch Doctor. That's all you need to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you weren't actually wrong about that Rubik. It was 1-12-13.
That was the one he was against. He was against a Lycan, and the Lycan would just like ulti and run across the whole map, and then he'd get to Rubik, and Rubik could like lift the wolf and then keep running, but the things would chase him. He'd still die. Naga Siren getting some slight nerfs to the hero. Mana cost for Song of the Siren and shift queuing Meteor Hammer after Song. It is now dodgeable by Manta Style and Blink Daggers. So I've read some comments saying that you can manually time it to make it more perfect, but in the past the shift queuing was perfect and was undodgeable other than like BKBs basically. So now there are ways out of it. If you do it the lazy way, if you practice it, we might still see some OP Meteor Hammer stuff. And the other aspects of Naga are still good, so excited to see Naga back.
Morphling.
That's a hero.
Yeah, we had him earlier today in the hands of Arteezy.
Went pretty well.
Yeah.
He had a bit of a tough lane. This game he's going to be against a Beastmaster and probably a Naga Siren, so definitely pressurable there. Can you waveform when you're netted? I'm not sure. I feel like you probably can't. So there's some good lockdown option there. Mana burn against him is definitely very effective as well to limit like waveform and stuff, but there's a lot of good things to turn into. Disruptor, stealing his basic abilities would be really useful. Naga Siren's basic abilities are... Dude, can he like turn into Naga, use Mirror Image, turn back to Morphling, and then have these like 3 Naga illusions that have a bunch of agility items? I feel like he could do that.
He should be able to,
and they should stay there for like the full 45 seconds, I assume. I assume they don't go away once he turns back, or once the duration runs out. I assume they'll stay. Pretty cool. And you can take Static Link. I've played Morphling against Razor before. It's actually so easy. You just waveform in, you turn into him, you start sapping his damage, and then he tries to Static Link you, but you got a Lincoln's, bro. And then you just win the damage trade. It's actually pretty cool. But it's definitely a good Morphling game. The only big issues, obviously, are Ensnare and Disruptor ulti are the ones that I'm looking at. Or hypothetically, if he gets roared without realizing it's coming. But definitely looks like a good Morphling game. Lots of heroes he can one-shot, especially, I mean, I guess it's just Disruptor and his animal. But
it's just a hard-to-kill hero. Like, I always class Morphling as the stupid little sucker because he's got so many escape mechanisms through Strength Maul, through Waveform, even through Adaptive Strike Pushback. And then you've got Death Prophet, who's also very difficult to kill. I'm wondering who Navi focus when OG still have the S4 hero to select. If he's able to get something which is even tankier, just to run,
definitely is Brewmaster. Is Brewmaster the closest we get to cooking? I think he's brewing up a nice dish.
Yeah, except Brewmaster stops at the alcohol and never gets to the meal.
He was planning on it, though, I'm sure. He cooks with yeast. It's practically bread, right?
Okay, so you fail at the restaurant, but at least you can open a bar.
True. I'm sure he'd be capable of that. Offlane-wise, it's going to be somebody... I think somebody a little independent would be nice. That way Earth Spirit can rotate between mid and offlane. So maybe we'll see something bad as banned. I keep thinking about Centaur, because I wish Centaur was back in the mid a little bit, but I think the heroes maybe nerfed a little too much. Yeah,
Brewmaster is kind of like the last thing that, like, is what S4 would play.
It's just not that good. Maybe it is, because like Morphling and Death Prophet, if given space, can do a lot in a team fight. So
his last hero is Underlord, Puck, DK, Batrider, Brewmaster, and if you go back far enough, Tiny. Any of these fit for you?
I mean, a lot of those are banned. Tiny's banned, Puck is banned, Batrider is banned. He doesn't play Omni, but Omni's banned. So what does that leave us with? Brewmaster, who had a terrible win rate at the previous major. And he will be cooking today.
Yeah.
Very apt. Very, very, very appropriate.
Cooking with wine. Sometimes they even put it in the food.
Depends on the cosmetic. I mean, I don't think Brewmaster's win rate, based on the last tournament, is reflective of how good he is. I would say he's probably like a tier 1.5 offlane right now, maybe is safe to say. But against a Razor, it's a bad time. It's a really bad time in that lane, especially against like Disruptor Razor. That's like such a good dual lane. Like any offlane hero that can't just kill one of them first is going to lose that lane, because you're just going to get static linked, and then you get sent back, and then he chases you another distance. Like, it's so dangerous.
So the last Brewmaster game he won was 15 days ago when they played against King.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can still work, though. OD is the pick here. Very good hero against Morphling. Does pure damage, so kind of cuts through his super high armor. I think it's a good pick for Dendi. Also, you can banish whoever gets maledicted. That's a huge aspect of this. So they've got a couple different ways to save heroes. I do like the OD pick here for Navi.
This actually makes life a little bit easier for Navi, right? Because they've got a lot of get-out-jail-free cards. Like, you can potentially put the wall up, you glimpse someone away from a fight, you've got the slow from the boars, you've got ensnares, you've got Song of the Siren, you've got, like, imprisonment. There's all these things that Navi can play with where I like how they can be dynamic in adapting and executing their draft. Like, it's not just that one-trick pony you could be really worried about. Like, this is an all-in push lineup. Hey, look, they've got full auras. Like, now it's a blend of everything.
Kind of reminds me of the last game we just watched, where, like, Vici Game was like, I want to ravage you while we use BKBs. And the other team was like, well, we can do this, and then this, maybe, and then this, and they poke in, and then all of a sudden the other team's like, all we can do is 5v5 smoke, and it didn't work out. So maybe OG can find some type of good team fight, but it's basically Brewmaster going in, maybe a Witch Doctor Cask, maybe Jarek's jumping in with Earth Spirit, but there's always going to be solutions on Navi side, and if Lil Slit's back on Naga Siren and pops Song of the Siren, the fight should be easier for them, especially because they can do Song plus Disruptor. Like, they actually have so many good things in Navi's draft. Like, I feel like they have the upper hand here in the draft for sure.
Yeah, I feel the same, but it's still like, can they execute it? Same for, like, but OG on the other side, I feel they've got a lot of chaos factor to work with. Like, if G-Rex does get a good magnetize off, if he does get good kicks, it's going to enable the jump, enable the Brewmaster to get the split off.
Maybe. You can still song it.
I'm still concerned about their damage output. I think that for me is their
side?
On the OG side of things. Like, unless that Death Prophet stays alive the entire time or Morphling gets big, I don't think their damage output's going to be enough where they can actually kill off Navi before Navi can use their get-out-jail-free card, before they can use the Song of the Siren.
That's a fair point.
How do you pick the Naga in the back lines until Morph has E-Blade pop? Or you actually get the long duration silence from the Death Prophet.
Yeah, that's true. Like, they will have trouble initiating in late game for sure, and they don't have very good disengages, so it's not looking amazing, but maybe their lane matchups will work out really well, and that'll give them the advantage they need. So it looks like they're moving around with the smoke on both teams, actually. Going to try to find some easy pickoffs here, and the first ward will be Earth Spirit. Yeah, and he spots on LeBron. So LeBron will know that he was smoked, which should mean that nobody else gets caught on Navi's side.
You say that as Crystallize moves back to the tower. Yeah, but he took a little bit of damage, but it's okay.
A whole one right click, but they're not going to commit the stun.
Jirax, okay, rolling pole. This is LeBron. Here comes your Spirit Siphon. They're just harassing the Disruptor down. Lil tries to create a little bit of space with Riptide, but it's like 6 armor on the Naga. They're not going to win that fight.
Yep, just going to slap a little bit. She does pick up a Orb of Venom, so those two heroes going to play a very similar role.
Is Jirax really willing to go for much more here?
What was that for? Scare him. Intimidation stone. I got so many stones, I'll leave them in random places. That don't matter.
This ward is that ward is toast. Just calling it right now. That Dire Observer was days and numbered.
I think he anticipated that Jerax had placed a ward as he hit the top of the ramp, maybe.
Yeah.
To spot heroes, so they'll grab
Which is
that
funny
now.
because they come back and they put it exactly where it is. So yeah, General, hello, extra money, and even a quarter of a level to begin with. Not too shabby. And then Navi's aggressive vision. They've got one ward sitting in the mid lane. A nice position because it's normally where Jerax would roll from to initiate into Dendi, unless he wants to roll from like the Radiant side of the river.
Even if he does, though, I feel like OD is a good hero for this because he can just banish one of the two heroes, and then for that disable duration, he can just walk away while one hero attacks him. It's way different compared to the opposite. So S4 is in the safe lane here against a Razor with a Naga Siren. That's going to be a tough one.
They're going bottom lane. Paralyzing Cask and rolling boulder forward onto General. Huge amounts of damage as he'll go into the tree. Fly did cop a lot back and return. General, he'll be able to get into the trees and salve up so they do not end by getting the kill.
I'm glad you're here for us, Toby.
I got you, bro.
That helped.
We're watching 3 lanes at the same time. But yeah, that does not work out well for OG. That looked like at least they burn his consumable. That's an upside. Like fly cop damage for it, but it does show you the power and like at least the intention of OG. They don't want to let Navi get comfortable.
Kind of sucks that Fly's gonna have to grab Cast though. It's not as good kill-wise, but he's picked up 2 anyways, so it'll be all right now. And he's actually going to rotate the safe lane. Okay, yep. Lane rotate, full rotate. S4 going to the bot lane, and Fly goes to the top lane. That way they can actually lane against Razor. And with Mautic, they can actually threaten and possibly kill him, so he's got to be a little careful now if he doesn't see Fly coming.
Here's the next rotation already. LeBron TPs to the north. Jerax is preparing for a rolling boulder in towards mid. Then he does have the Astral Imprisonment, so rolling boulder out. No-Tail's a little bit too far back. He was with his creep wave and not in the front lines. He doesn't have Spirit Siphon anyway, so it looks like Jerax is more posturing and trying to cancel the salve of Dendi, who is down to 1 tango charge now.
He'll be okay though, most likely. Everything should be fine. Regenerate on the bot lane. And the lanes continue as previously TP'd, so still sucks for Brewmaster. He's trying to get away from that lane. That's difficult.
Oh, they're paralyzing Cast. Maledict up on top. Beastmaster has already taken heavy damage, and here comes Jerax rolling boulder forward. LeBron's nearby. He's trying to get the revenge kill into Fly. It will not happen as Jerax does spill the first blood, and they will force LeBron out of the lane. He was just shy of level 2, so no kinetic field, no glimpse to help him. So
it kind of feels like this is the way that OG has to set tempo. It has to be like a Maledict into a rotation from Jerax. So he can maybe teleport into lanes based on the openings that Fly gets and always be there at the right time. But actually being in the lane and contesting and giving his offlane the typical dual offlane thing, I don't think that's going to happen on OG's side this game. It's going to be hard to give S4 on the right side. This wave is pushed, so he'll be able to get like level 3, maybe level 4, depending on how things go.
Yeah, he can at least get some of the experience, but Navi are really dedicated to keeping this tri-lane together. They just moved it to the north after OG. Like, they couldn't pull on the bottom lane. That's why that aggressive tri-lane was never going to work, because the Radiant Observer would blocked the camp. But now General moves forward, acts to do some decent damage. They ensnare onto the Witch Doctor, and he is trapped inside the kinetic field. He got the Maledict on General, but there was nothing much that Jerax could do. And Resolution, after copying that early damage, issue of being so heavily into agility, just had nothing more to give.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they anticipated the Naga Siren rotating there, but they did have a safe lane ward on the pull area, so Fly definitely wants to fight here more if possible. Jerax is going to spot Lil and vice versa, so
yeah.
In this tri lane, I'm not sure if OG is super happy.
Yeah, kick Lil up the hill. I don't think Fly and Resolution, like Fly and Resolution originally wanted to go in General as he retreated away from the tower, but the opportunity just never looked like it was going to execute.
Yeah. And it looks like Lil's going to block the small camp from spawning, so there's no more pull advantage for this tri lane. It's been a while, actually, since we saw a try versus try, but it has eventually happened in this game.
Yep. You at least still have the lane rotation, so it never feels like a try versus try all the time. No-Tail having more fun with Dendi.
Just kind of an even lane. 15 and 7 for Death Prophet, 12 and 7 for OD, so he's a little bit low on last hits. Other lanes are going well. Razor's got a lot. Morphling has a lot as well, so I think as a whole, I'd be relatively happy if I'm Navi, though. I feel like they've had a little bit more lane matchup advantage. As long as they can prevent OG from snowballing like Maledict kills with Morphling, then I think they're going to be in an okay place, because they're going to hit a better timing than OG will. Like, they're going to need Blink Dagger for Brewmaster to be really effective, and they're going to need Morphling to have an item or two before he gets scared.
You can see Na'Vi trying to bait it out. Like, they keep putting Lil so far forward, looking for that Maldic pop, and they got it. It's over on General. Resolution decides not to waveform forward over the wall, and this means the double Riptide from Lil connects on flying and G-Rex. G-Rex being the man to fall.
I'm actually really surprised that Morphling didn't go in there.
It's like Resolution's just like, I don't think this will work, guys. Because if you waveform, General's dead.
He would have definitely had that kill, especially with his adaptive strike pickup. I think it doesn't
Maldic again. Now Lil, they're waiting for it. Rolling boulder in by G-Rex, just controlling him.
So the negative of him going in was he would have had to use adaptive strike and waveform. And if General actually did have those wand charges, it would have been close. Because I think it was only level 1 Maldic. So I think he decided that he maybe was going to get the kill.
Level 2 at the start of the fight.
But if he would have spent all of his mana and put himself out of position to just maybe kill the Beastmaster, that could end up being so bad. He could die, the whole game could be thrown out of whack. Instead, he just waits for the right moment, they finally get another kill, and he doesn't have to spend mana, so ultimately better for OG.
S4's actually getting more CS out of this bottom lane than I thought he would. Probably helps having 3 S4s.
Yeah. It helps the supports left. I mean, he's obviously behind in levels, but the creep wave has been in a really good spot, and therefore he can actually play fully aggressive.
In trouble.
A regen.
G-Rex walled up, paralyzing cast. It doesn't bounce. They try and kick him away. The rolling boulder out. G-Rex has enough life. He's got stick charges available to Fly, however, his stick charges will not be enough to save him. Resolution was in the neighborhood, but could do nothing to prevent the death of his support.
Yeah, Orb of Venom making a big difference there, and Witch Doctor just doesn't have that much armor, so if he does get pressured like that, he's going to go down. So it's not the best situation for OG, but as long as Morphling has a good time, he's going to be happy, and they're going to... Yeah, here comes the
coming mid. Exorcism. Well, you're going to banish up one. Where is this kick?
Very
Witch
early.
Doctor took... Yeah, he was invis ruined up. That's why he tried to get the jump onto Dendy that way.
Was the cooldown ending or something?
I don't know. I only saw the invis up.
There was a teleport coming from Witch Doctor, but he was halfway through his TP. It was way too early. They had to go in like the same time for that to work.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it was his invis duration or something.
Either that, they're just trying to pressure it so they can take the tower, because here comes Fly. You are using that nighttime vision. Paralyzing cast won't help, because you still have defensive imprisonment. As long as Dendy sees it coming, he'll be okay. But he's not fighting this, so Fortification is the only thing that will slow it down. Top lane, Resolution and Jirax working on General. This time Resolution can miss with the waveform forward. He's got 17 one charges available. Now ensnared up. LeBron wants to battle him. Jirax acts as Fly. They clip on the back of Resolution, but General, he's on the run, and Jirax rolling boulders into him. So it'll be a 1-for-1 trade-off. The Beastmaster for an ES is worth it if you're OG. Meanwhile, on bottom, here comes Fly. S4 starts with a clap. He has the Brewmaster split. So the static link damage is still there, heavily up, but it won't matter when the Brewlings do the work and crystallize. The highest net worth hero on the field goes down to the Brewmaster and Witch.
Yeah, it was really perfectly baited there. Put himself in a bad position, gets a perfect static storm off, but then the Maledict, obviously, in the long term, still hits for no damage, but power of Witch Doctor, man. Just amplifying everyone's damage. I'm sure General's really frustrated that Jerax was able to kill him. That was huge for Jerax, picking up level 2 now.
I think that he's really worried about getting clipped by those axes, but then again, General, the glimpse back made General believe he can keep fighting, and now General dies quick, consecutive deaths.
Every extra level that they get on OG's side is such a big advantage. Nobody wanted a TD. Trash TDs.
GG.
I mean, extra levels of Boulder Smash increases stun duration, I think, by it's like 0.5 seconds or something like that. It goes up to 1 second instead of 0.5.
Then he could be in trouble here. Paralyzing Cast will connect, so with a Maledict. And, well, Spirit Siphon, he has a defensive imprison, buys time for TP support to come in, and it will be Lil arriving to the front lines with that Maledict already up so high as 3 levels in it. Dendy should pop from the last one. Lil needed Song of the Siren to really save his mid then.
Yeah, it's a good attempt. And again, Fly, amazing Witch Doctor, am I right? Like,
You're right.
He's making all these kills happen, man. 4 total kills so far. He's picking up easy levels from this. The safe lane for OG is going well now with Morphling picking up levels. He's got enough damage that he can actually deal with the Beastmaster.
They got a really protected mid lane as well, OG. Like, they're ensuring that Notel has a good start and is capable of ganking the mid thanks to the 2 Observer Wards, one down near the Radiant Ancients and the other one up in front of Roshan. So they see both the north and south entrance. They see this rotating supports, like as Lil walks over it right now. Like, he's bouncing down to the bottom lane, then he moves back, and it even sees the smoke of Na'Vi.
I mean,
as long as they're paying attention.
I guess they might wrap mid, but maybe they're also looking at S4. The problem is that S4 just finished his 9-minute Blink Dagger in the offlane, so This is going to be S4 grabbing a TP, instantly teleporting into lane, setting up another kill.
Flies there with smoke. In fact, Fly is standing. He's now visible to that observer ward.
Okay, that could be really good timing. That maybe Navi can take this vision.
They're actually going to smoke underneath that fresh observer ward? Yeah, they are.
Okay, so they just have to predict where this is going to go. I'm going to guess it's going towards mid, yeah, against Dendy. But LeBron is not, he's moving really wide. Maybe he'll plan to TP, but maybe they'll just sit Dendy back, I guess.
One thing they probably wouldn't have seen, because it would have been so quick, is the Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster. So they'll know a smoke gank is coming, but they won't be expecting the jump.
I think it's possible, considering the fact that he killed the Razor and he left the lane at a point when the creep wave was like right by his tower. I don't think it'd be that bizarre to assume.
Put 1 and 1 together, make 2.
Yeah. I mean, all he had was Brown Boots, Quelling, Stout Shield. Like, if he doesn't buy any transition items, the only reason he'd do that is because he's doing so well that he can get into a blink really fast.
They got the aggressive Observer Ward down. Gonna Spirit Siphon ulti from No-Tail was an illusion of Naga.
Yeah.
Only, but it's enough to ensure the Tier 1 tower drops with a Catapult Wave.
Yeah. Like his skill build as well. I think maxing Cryptstorm is a little bit underrated. Big miss there on the tower kill for No-Tail, but with Cryptstorm, it helps your Maledict become much better. Spirit Siphon doesn't work that great against OD anyways. It's just going to all work out nicely for him. Can they catch General, though?
Yeah, the kick will go with the waveform forward. Resolution stays in front. S4 makes his way into. If they want to fight this one, S4 will be happy to oblige. He actually has the Brewmaster split, and they got all 5 heroes. It's the end of the exorcism of No-Tail.
Yeah, Rezo turned into Beastmaster, but he ran out of mana there, so he wasn't able to do the Wild Axes, and he would have had to use his wand charges for that to work out. So
that's fine. He held the inner Beast Aura for everybody else.
It's pretty much a worthless Morphling ultimate, but that's okay.
Well, they go bottom lane. Rolling Boulder in. They got the Brewmaster split and Crystallize, just like before. Yeah. Except this time, an extra support from OG was brought in. Crystallize goes down all alone with no one from Navi to help him.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling when you're playing a hero like Razor, like Viper. You win lanes, but if people just aren't there, then it doesn't matter. And once in a while when they do gank you, you just get super behind. This has got to be really crappy for Razor to feel there.
Yep.
Just pressured, feels like nothing's happening. He's not part of ganks. His opponents are on him, and everybody else just seems to be farming well in OG. They're in a good place right now.
Yeah. Even Witch Doctor has his level 6. Like, I'm waiting for Lil to reach his. That's why they're giving him the bottom. Silence is on to No-Tail. They need to keep this going. Jirax, rolling boulders up. But Denny turned around to actually put in the imprisonment, but it won't matter when Fly's got the Death Ward. Very simple kill. Now the 30 seconds of the core from Na'Vi has to be on the sideline.
Yep, and this is what keeps happening. OG looks and finds a hero and kills them. And it definitely helps to have Earthspare. I think one of the biggest benefits of him so far this game, yes, the hero is weaker on paper than somebody like Naga Siren in terms of trading, but he's able to get to these kills so fast with Rolling Boulder. Even if he misses it, he's there. He can teleport, he can Rolling Boulder full distance, and he's actually able to participate, but Naga has to walk there, has to plan ahead. It's easier for Jirax to actually rotate and react to some of these fights.
Well, Jirax is reacting perfectly thanks to this Observer what aggressive vision they've got. He knows he has to silence the Disruptor or else Glimpse back will end up killing him.
Very sick.
And LeBron cannot reach the range. He does have 3 points up in Glimpse, but that won't reach even that far.
Normally you have to Glimpse like as he's on his way out, unless you have level 4. So perfect play there by Jirax to silence him and then roll.
Yep. Now, smoke up from Na'Vi, so they fail the gank. But thanks to the 3 Observer Wards, which are currently down from OG, they see pretty much everything around the mid lane. They understand that the Na'Vi supports are gone. It may not help him, however, because S4, incapable of blinking in time, he can start his TP, but it'll be completely pointless. Even the roar from General.
Wow. They really wanted that kill. At the same time, they're going on Dendy, though. Big silence here.
Yep. He can defensively imprison. Fly is waiting. If they have to fight, they can. Like, he's got Death Ward available, but no one from Na'Vi is coming. They're just pushing the bottom tier 1 tower instead.
Yeah, I don't even think S4 is going to be upset about dying there.
There's no chance to spurt Exorcism and hit the tier 2?
I don't think I would do tier 2. Tier 2s are really dangerous to push with these small advantages. It's like you want to win a team fight before you push a tier 2 this early.
Well, they can fight bottom. Fly's already TP'd it early. Here comes your secondary 1 in from Brewmaster. Split is available because he died so quickly.
Oh, cool.
So aggressive TPs are difficult because you're up against a Disruptor. So he'll just glimpse you back if you TP the tier 1 tower, but they're going to give it a shot anyway. Brewmaster split is out, and Lil puts everybody to sleep. They're so grouped up, OG. They want to retreat back out. The Earth Bruling was slowing up General, so he cannot escape from this. As Jirax rolling boulders forward, he found Crystallize. They won't catch Lil, but then Crystallize keeps the run going. The kinetic field creates some space. Disruptor's glimpse saving the Razor. But that is not what NAVI wanted to achieve by this bottom lane pressure.
I mean, that's way better than it was about to go. They canceled Death Ward there with that song. They canceled Beastmaster dying instantly and another person being followed up on. Like, that was not bad considering the circumstances. But either way, OG's at this point where they're just going to snowball their opponents. I love No-Tail's build. I feel like I wish more mid-heroes would buy Veil. They always buy 2 nulls, and they're like, nah. Can't afford the extra 1,300, not worth the money. But it's going to amplify all of his damage, especially against these semi-tanky heroes like OD and Razor. His team does magic damage anyways. They're probably going to grab an E-Blade eventually and Morphling. It just makes sense. Increases his Maledict damage. It's beautiful.
It seems to make all the right decisions to help them fight early on, and then No-Tail sacrifices himself, right? Like, you don't have to go the Yule Scepter. You don't need the movement speed. You don't need any of that. What you just need is to enable your team, enable resolution. Yeah. And Rez has finished up the Lincoln Sphere. He's going to go in for BTs next, so he'll be a lot of side lane pressure. Make it a lot easier to join the fights when they begin.
Yep, super normal Morphling build.
And it's a tier 1 for a tier 2 trade-off, which is happening now. Aggressive Observer Ward from Jirax. They're already preparing inside the base before Na'Vi will be back.
Yeah, that one's sick, because if you wait till the tier 2's dead and you put the ward, they're always going to predict it. But if you place it now, they may not anticipate it. It's going to spot everything here.
Well, he's pinging out to go for Lil. There's no Song of the Siren, so OG are very happy to jump into the fights. There's nothing that really stops them. No-Tail's got a third of the duration left, actually even less than that, for the Exorcism, but it's enough where they can chip the tier 3 and cause some pressure. That allows the opening up on top. Rolling Boulder in by Jirax. He'll get the double kickoff now. The Clips will pull him back a little bit further, but General trying to battle inside the Storm. They need one more stun on the Disruptor!
Haha, if you had Yule's scrub. I'm just kidding. No, he went to Mayweather though for it at that point. He took like a 1,400 gold detour. Okay, maybe he would have had it. Who knows? But that's one of those moments where Yule's is really good. Secure TP kills is one of the best reasons.
He's got a lot of stuff. Like even the adaptive, like get anything out there. Jirax had to commit for his double stun at the beginning. It was just a smart time to TP out. Maybe not so smart for Dendy to stick around. Rolling Boulder in. They get the silence onto Dendy. S4 with the club. Kinetic Field trying to hold him in position. But the kick and silence catches both Dendy and LeBron. Crystallize wants to get this fight fly. Sits in the tree lines. Dendy comes back out the imprisonment. Back into the Death Ward death range. And this Broom Master has just removed Razor from the fight with the Storm Ruling. The kickback, trying to keep the distance up to Paralyzing Cast's going to bounce into the freaking Ogres. But this is a good fight for Na'Vi. Getting a couple of kills now, have an isolated No-Tail in the Death Treed. 4 heroes around him and a triple kill for Crystallize. He was out of the fight for a while, but he comes in at the end to clean up.
He just got all this damage, and then eventually they just out-DPS them. Like, it was, if Morphling wasn't there, Brewmaster was using his ultimate to basically buy time, and if Wish Doctor ulti has been used already, if Maledict has been used already, like, everything was used to kill OD essentially, and OG just had to back a little bit earlier without having Morphling there, and no Exorcism. So just a little bit overconfidence from their advantage this game. And
so we need just a little bit more damage to get that early kill. That's all.
Or they got the kill, they just needed to leave. Because eventually the Razor was able to outdamage everybody, and they just got a little bit overkited by his superior mobility. So, small, I would say small mistake that led to a moderate mistake in the game. And I'm sure that...
the coming to kill resolution.
I'm sure that
he doesn't have vision on the hill.
Scared.
Lil just starts the Song of the Siren. Morphling wants to jump out of here now. At least there's no stuns, but you've got the Storm. The Lincolns will break, and that is one very dead Morphling.
Huge kill there. That's actually so worth it.
Jirax was nearby to try and help out, but it was just too far away.
And you know what's kind of crazy is I feel like that gank wouldn't have even happened if the OG players hadn't died in the mid lane. Because if they just don't die there, they back off a little bit, they retain map control of the enemy jungle, instead it's just Resolution solo pushing bottom. So that previous fight has now led to this place where Na'Vi felt semi-comfortable going bottom. They knew there probably wouldn't be that many heroes because 2 heroes had just respawned. It's like they just lost a lot of tempo by losing those 2 heroes. And my thought was like, this is just slightly reminding me of the game where OG got really far ahead and ended up losing it at the previous major. So I'm sure they're feeling a little bit worried right now.
Yeah, might be the reason too why No-Tail was sitting inside the Roshan pit. So Flyer's already trying to prepare up a little bit of vision. The balls are down at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got an Observer and 2 sentries available, but it's really difficult against Beastmaster. Like, that Hawk is at 46 HP, and No-Tail knows the damn thing is there, but he can't do anything about it. But this is their catch-up. This is the way like they change the tempo, right? Like, if Na'Vi's got the momentum, they've got the laning presence. You buy more space, you enable the Morphling to actually jump into the fights, and he's going to want to. Like, he's on the way to E-Blade.
I would say it's okay to slow this down just because OG's done such a good job in the beginning of the game, and the heroes that they shut down, especially OD, that is not a hero that catches up super well. He's better if he's closer in farm, but look at his net worth. He's got barely more than a Beastmaster does. That's how many times he's been successfully ganked mid.
Naga's, like, Lil's almost got as much as he does.
Yep.
Lil's already finished up now. Halo, Meteor Hammer, as well as Arcane Boots with a Wonder.
Yes, he's got some time to go before Naga is useful again, 50 whole seconds to be precise. I guess he could do a net into Meteor Hammer, but I think it's okay for OG to slow this down just a little bit, play a little safe play as they're even right now, and they just need to have a good fight or a gank and turn that into a Roche.
Just let the Morphling continue to get further ahead. Notel still waiting inside the pit. Like, Resolution needs to keep this middle lane pressured out. If he doesn't, then the Roshan's too obvious, and the Beastmaster will just send a hook.
I think he was also maybe waiting to break a smoke here. There's a lot of Navi heroes missing. I think maybe he, like, if you look at the wards right now, the only ward that they have is the one in the Radiant base, I believe, the only OG ward. So they
OG,
basically, they don't know where they are.
Lil fly. No, he doesn't have the vision. Oh, okay, that'll kill illusions.
That's a lot of gold. Watch out. Not as much as homing missile though. So I think OG just doesn't want to take this, like, get caught in this bad fight that leads to a Roche. That's it.
Crystalite just got his BKB. Like, this Raze is going to be so strong coming into the fight, and you still don't have that pop damage from Resolution. You went for the E-Blade. He went for the Ghost Set before he finished up the agility buff.
Yeah, it is a little scary now. Basically, any fight that they try to start where they kill Razor at the beginning, it's not going to work. Song will come out, and Razor's going to be able to reorganize this position and actually lead into something. But they're not far away from E-Blade. Very soon.
Oh, Song of the Siren. They got him just as he waveformed. So the storm is down, the song turns off, and support Jirax rolls in. Morphling, he's surviving through this. They didn't do enough damage, and he'll waveform down. Now Exorcism and Death Ward will do the work. Lil wants out of this one, but he's already taking way too much damage. The Maledict will pop him if the kick didn't get him first. The rest of Na'Vi managed to bail out pretty damn quick from this.
Really good survive there. They didn't channel Meteor Hammer. I saw that. Maybe that's because LeBron popped his ultimate really early, but I think they knew they had to kill Morphling as fast as possible because that's right next to a shrine. No matter what happens, OG is going to show up, and it was a good catch, but they needed a little bit more damage. Meteor Hammer hits there, that guy's dead 100%. So maybe just needed to commit to it instead of being a little bit worried.
And because you burn Song of the Siren, now OG feel confident enough to go in towards Roshan.
100%.
It was the end of the Exorcism, which gave him a little bit of extra physical damage at the beginning, but now Resolution will have to do the rest of the work. And quite easily, he can do that. Flies nearby, he's got no points in regeneration. Support's on the way in the Naga Illusions, but by the time they get inside the pit, it'll all be over. Roshan, it goes the way of OG. Resolution, the man to hold the Aegis, the Immortal.
Yeah. OG is going to feel really good now that they have Aegis. Not only did they just have the Aegis, even if they don't want to necessarily force a fight with it, they just know that their opponents can't take it as a prize to guarantee team fight wins potentially. Because it's really hard for OG to win these team fights, and it'd be even harder with Aegis on top of that. So now I think OG's just happy. BKB's up on Death Prophet.
Yep.
No-Tail will continue ferrying out Clarity Potions for the rest of his life, and they're going to be able to get more map
I think
control.
General's looking for a courier snipe round the back. He has to roar to get it, and then Boz and everyone else working. And they're TPing in. Wow, this could be quick.
Very close.
It's going to take too long for Jirax, but they do find one other target. LeBron. Fly commits the Death Ward. And that's a 3 killing streak, actually, ended off LeBron's. 310 gold for Fly.
Definitely a great courier snipe, though, because basically Navi knows that they're not going to be fighting anytime soon because of the Aegis, so sees the courier, goes for it. Nice snag. So
Gives some extra cash. Necrobook level 2 completed on General. Didn't go all Blink Daggers. There's no jump in initiation. So let's watch this fight once more. So the song is up, but the TPs are coming in thick and fast.
He also used his Ghost Scepter right away as soon as it ended. So the Meteor Hammer does actually hit at the end, excuse me. Is mostly the fact that he actually just wasn't taking any physical damage at the start of the fight, was what it was. It would have helped for the Meteor Hammer to be upfront damage as well, except for afterwards, because at that point he was able to morph. So it's kind of like a combination of those two things. Ghost Scepter and then no Meteor Hammer.
Goodbye, Lil.
Maybe.
It was really nice knowing you. Silenced up, silenced up.
Okay, there's 3 others.
Just lacquer the silencers on top. There's such a long duration control as well. Like that's like from the max silence, it can be 6 seconds. Right now it's at 5. And then you add the ES into it.
That ability's so good. Silence. The ability silence, not the status effect.
Just in general, it's great to silence heroes.
That was cool. That's like a I planted a ward here trick. Watch the sentry. It'll come. Maybe. It's maybe too obvious.
This is when they got to put the observer ward on the bottom side.
Maybe too heavy.
Yeah, no, here comes the sentry. Sentry's coming out to crystallize. He's like, okay, I got this, boys. Ready?
And that is how you beat a carry.
Oh, there's nothing there.
Your net worth
games.
is wrecked, crystallize. 100 less. Maybe he didn't buy it.
It's like, where is it? Where is this? Just where? Wait, are they?
Oh, 200 gold.
Oh, he put another sentry. It's like he did it somewhere around here, right?
Dude, and the best part, that's like him just like wasting some time because he didn't have anything else to do. So he's like, maybe we'll get some wards out of this. And not only that, but like Razor was sitting there like, let me bring this sentry out. Let me put the sentry down. He could have done something. Space created, dude. You know, creative boy.
Well, they know where not to put an observer ward now. Oh, LeBron, there's your third sentry going down, and it's too far out of range of the observer and sentry. 3 swings and a miss. Does this mean you're out? Like,
he's got no items. Yeah, I think he is.
Well, sorry, you just struck out Navi. Resolution's pushing in the bottom lane quite nicely. His E-Blade is fully completed. Still got the Aegis Immortal, so he'll be very happy to pressure the bottom because Navi's not there.
He just did the, is it worth waveform or morphing any of my allies this game? And it might be. I think Witch Doctor would be a pretty good guy to turn into briefly.
Here's Exorcism. They burnt the fortification already. Here comes Jirax rolling in once more. Are you going to drop another sentry ward for this? As Resolution waits it out. The Ensnare is on no tail, but he's in the back lines very, very safe. They can't reach Fly. They can't reach S4. And Resolution's waiting for the right time. Pops into Dendy. So much damage. And the double silence is on to Lil. This will buy enough time for the tier 3 tower to fall. OG, how hard do you want to push this? Maybe not that much harder. Exorcism is running out. Might be a good time to retreat. The Glimpse and Wall has been used.
I mean...
And here comes Jirax. Yeah, it's safety. Kick no tail away to safety. Go for the shrines.
Really good move there. Free force
Unless Navi wants to chase, which they won't.
They just have to move together. And luckily they've controlled that part of the map long enough that there's no observer ward, so no Glimpse back, and they get the tier 3, which guarantees shrines, which guarantees even more map control. So... I believe Aegis is probably about gone by now, if I'm not mistaken, so...
40 seconds.
Yeah, that's practical.
40 seconds and it's gone.
But no Exorcism, and with Aegis almost being gone, this is the right thing for OG to do. Regain map control, maybe they take another Roche, then go bot racks, maybe they split push some tier 2s first, but either way, when they get a chance, definitely take shrines would be their main goal.
Yeah, tier 2 on top, and then that shrine as well would be perfect. But wait for Exorcism. That's another minute.
I think this is one of the best things about Morphling, actually, is he's like anti-team fight in some ways, in that if you're not careful, he's just going to one-shot you. And when that happens, it's like, well, we don't need to win the team fight now because we're 5v4. Like, we're going to win the team fight.
Yeah, you saw how much damage he did to Dendy. Like, imagine if he actually caught like a weak here. Like, Disruptor just gets deleted. Hello, Paralyzing Task. Everyone hold hands.
Like, OD just has a lot of magic resistance just because he's really smart.
The Glimpse.
So if he nukes somebody else, it's going to be even scarier.
Witch Doctor was underneath the Sentry Ward. That's why his Glimmer Cape didn't protect him. But the silence is up, but the damage is too high from Crystallize. Or maybe not. Paralyzing Cast back in. It goes into the Ancients this time. And up to General. Navi's itching for a fight.
Yeah. I thought they were going to get that one for sure, but everybody in OG sits back. They defend him.
They don't want to fight yet. Like, Resolution's got BTs ready to go, but he wants that BKB coming on the courier.
Yeah. I mean, look at his farm level now. He's so much farther ahead than anybody on Navi, so...
He's almost 18,000 net worth to the 13,000 of Razor.
Yeah, he's just on the trajectory where he's got BKB now, so basically any team fight, he's going to be fine. Unless he gets roared without seeing it coming. And then afterwards, he just continues to buy items that are going to help him kill. Probably... Scotty is pretty much always a mandatory thing against BKB heroes. You saw how good it was last game against OD. Same thing against Razor, just perma-slow him. Followed up with whatever the heck you want. I mean, Rezo can basically do anything he wants now for the rest of the game. That's what it feels like.
It's like Lil's going BKB, trying to break free of this silence curse so he can actually get his ulti off.
He actually needs to. There's too many ways that he can just be threatened. Same with E-Blade combo. If he gets maledicted and ultied, he has a song. There are circumstances he doesn't want to have to be forced down to.
Jirax was in the neighborhood on the top lane for a very long time, but there was no one else for him to combo with. But you knew this was inevitable. Like, OG was just preparing this top lane. They don't have the vision up. That's thanks to Navi having this Observer and Sentry just on the backwards hill to the east of the tier 2.
That's a really cool thing about OG's draft with their 2 supports is that both of them
No,
can
you're
make
walking
kills.
into a sentry ward. You got caught here before. He puts out his own observer, at least gets the vision, but S4, the jumping. Crystallize got his BKB off well before that. The Beastmaster won't be so lucky. Getting kicked up. Crystallize now losing that static link because he was on the Storm Brewling. That won't help him, but on to No-Tail. That'll work. No, you'll have to protect him and take him out of harm's way. So Crystallize will pick up the double kill. Here comes Resolution. Waveforming in, but the BKB protecting Dendy. G-Rex looking for another quick kill. That's only the disruptor, but G-Rex so much damage, he'll get the magnetize off. So Navi will have issues with that, but Resolution just has no more friends to damage with. Oh, they banished him! It was the last point of a second before that TP was going to complete for Resolution. He can E-Blade pop somebody, but Lil just looking to dodge it with mirror image. No way to really get the hit, and OG lose 4.
Not the best way to start a fight. Walking uphill, going for the D-ward. That's such a dangerous place, actually, for OG to D-ward, because it's right between both Tier 2 towers. There's a high chance that Navi controls that area. And walking up like that, losing Witch Doctor right at the start of the fight, force him into this weird situation where No-Tail's forced to, like, gap close and eventually say, like, all right, half his BKB's gone, I'm going to commit to this. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, Razor has stolen damage this whole time, and I'm actually vulnerable here, and I actually can't live through 3 heroes. One of the negatives of his build, he couldn't buy himself a second and a half. Or 2 seconds with Yule. So
let's see it again. Fly comes up. There's the initiation. Soaks up the raw, and then that, like they at least keep the Naga under wraps.
And they kept General a little bit on the Beastmaster, but he was already done.
No-Tail just seems so isolated from the rest of his team. The Song of the Siren, Resolution was asleep that entire fight.
Yep. As soon as he pops BKB, the song comes out.
Yep.
And here was just like Resolution trying to get a kill before he dies. Maybe he should have morphed. I could definitely say that's fair. Even if you turn into like Beastmaster for a second, throw axes, turn out again, but
this timing, watch it.
It was so
0.0. It was actually 0.0.
Dendy definitely cheated. That was obvious.
I'm sorry.
That said 0.
It did say 0.
Really close. Good banish there.
But it says 0 when it's between like the actual 0 and 0.1.
I mean, this is another moment here where it feels like OG should not be in this situation. They had this overwhelming advantage, and now they have to work it up a little bit again, and then go for it. Like, look at the graph. It's like we're winning. Oh, whoops. Okay, never mind. Let's win it. Oh, whoops. We messed up again. This one was more severe. That was a lot of kills.
You make it sound like, hey, I just walked into a bathtub. Well, I slipped. Maybe I should get the grip back.
I mean,
no.
That's what it feels like.
Slipped again.
They are
outclassing
Navi in most plays, but they're just having these small moments where they make a little bit over, maybe a little bit over-expect themselves to win the fight. Maybe it's some of their itemization things, but
it just seems like when Resolution isn't the one starting the fight, this doesn't work. Like, Resolution needs to have that quick pop. Like, on bottom lane, he smacks Dendy down to like 15-20% of his HP. This is the way they wanted to begin. And this worked. But when Fly just walked forward like that, and he's not playing in the back lines, there's no interference when Navi initiate.
They also had Aegis there, though, so it was partially... Navi's inaction was at least somewhat based on that.
Okay, there's Observer and Sentry down. They're looking for an opportunity. Lil, there's your quick silence. G-Rex just wants to go for it. Even silence the Disruptor at the same time. Ultimate. And then rolling Boulder away.
Yeah, his ultimate has a very short range, actually. You need to be standing right next to somebody. Missed it. Was hoping to knock them back, but found everybody was there.
They have to get rid of that Sentry. It'll reveal the fact that Fly's there, but it needed to happen.
Yeah.
They actually knew. Like, there's dire Observer wards everywhere around this top part.
At least the Tier 2's dead mid now, so it's a little bit easier for them to control there.
Oh no, Hawkeye died.
They still haven't killed Shrines, by the way. And that's actually a huge mistake from OG. Unless that's just a map bug, but it's like they keep fighting around this one point, and there's 3 teleport points for their opponents, all surrounding that one point that they're fighting around.
They damaged the bottom shrine. It was funny because they backed out of the bottom lane, like after they took the Tier 3 tower, they started doing damage to it, and then they all walked off.
Yeah.
Like they're saying, okay, we're not going to stick around for this.
It's really scary to commit. The only hero on their team that can actually kill shrines easily is Morphling. It has to be Morphling. And I'm sure Rez has been busy pushing lanes, trying to farm items, you know?
This is still reaching that point. Like I was mentioning it during the drafting phase, where it was my issue with the OG draft was actually getting to this point, but they're reaching it, where Resolution is just so damn powerful that he will actually do the physical damage required to get through the Na'Vi lineup after they'd use all of their disengages from Na'Vi. So the only thing that has to happen is Fly as well as G-Rex create a lot of pressure, a lot of distraction. Oh, Fly! Oh, he's almost dead! They sentry ward him down. put down the Storm as well. Roshan so low at 1.1k. General's already got the double kill. They've rooted up 1-2. The buybacks are coming in from Fly, but you've lost Notal, you've lost S4. Resolution, how strong is your back? Roshan is actually stuck on the wall and getting kicked down. Fly with a dive back. They're waiting for this, but it's all Roshan to NAVI. Nothing will stop it. Aegis and Cheese is out. And they are coming to push down the mid. Even an MKB for the Razor to boot.
Toby, they bumped into their bathtub again.
Oh, God.
Oh, not a good way to start a fight. They felt confident going for Roche, but all of a sudden...
Oh, Courier Snipe GRX. No.
Oh,
he's too busy cutting the wave.
Yeah, he wants to cut the wave, but there's a full creep wave here. They just... The only thing they still have is Brewmaster ulti. They pop BKBs. There was like 3 crucial losses there. Witch Doctor dying right away. Brewmaster did not get his ulti off. Death Prophet died like instantly. There's actually like too much physical damage on Navi's side. Like Notail's build was actually the wrong thing this game, I think. The BKB has not actually benefited. He needed like a Shiva's there or something. Maybe.
Something to survive. Jirax tries to create space. Silence isn't kicked. Here comes your TP. Death Prophet to the front lines. In through the back. It's going to be the Brewmaster split. This is OG's chance to potentially turn this fight around. LeBron, he'll come out of the imprisonment. Jirax is almost his job to kill him off because they've separated out. Someone kill LeBron. Okay, the Storm Ruling and Jirax will finally do it. But Resolution trying to combine together with the S4 Ruling. And the E-Blade Pop won't be enough because you got the health to come back from Crystallizer's Cheese. So Resolution, man up. Who is stronger? He's got more time to him. He's got no damage. It's negative almost 300. Resolution gets help from Jirax. Oh, boy.
He's like, oh yeah, I can turn back into this guy that has a ton of health.
Yeah.
He never used Static Link. What is he doing? Oh. All right, Rezo is not ready to play Morphling. That is like, that should have been like the first thing he did was like, I'm gonna link you, then turn back. Because if maybe he thought he clicked it or something, because he was fighting him the whole time. That was insane. You should not be taking that fight if you're being static linked. He's gonna out damage you until you get your nukes again. And he had like 3 full seconds to go. So the fact that he must have thought he linked him or something. That's the only thing that makes sense to me there.
Yeah.
He probably canceled his animation, didn't realize like, oh crap, I haven't stolen any damage yet. That's why I'm not killing him.
Oh, we swing the momentum back the other way. It seems only a minute ago because it was that OG were losing their full mid-rack. Steady jumps forward. Resolution, a quick waveform away. Doesn't have his BKB up yet. That's 10 seconds till it is up and running. Death Prophet has his, but Exorcism, it's going to be enough time. They jump in, they kick the E-Blade pop. No! Song of the Siren! 5 heroes are caught! Turn on the Storm! It's an absolute nightmare when the Meteor Hammer connects as well. OG, they actually have the sustain. They're living through this. Their turn on the Voodoo Restoration, the magic that you do, and they've even jumped down to the bottom. They want Dendy, Death Ward, and Maledict. LeBron will cop the Death Ward. No, he won't. He'll cancel off Fly's attack. And Dendy, a quick blink. He's into the trees, starting his TP out. The last Maledict pop is going to be close, but he's back to base and regenerating quickly. Bottom lane, Resolution. And he'll have to actually get out there, able to do so. The BKB duration is over. S4 trapped inside the base. Crystallized is just all executing him down. He's got the Earth Ruling left. It's going to take too long before it gets back into it, so Brewmaster will drop. But they claim the melee racks on bottom of all of the lanes.
Man, that Meteor Hammer fight, that's what OG has been waiting for all game with their items. All BKBs, Glimmer Cape, Yules on Earth Spirit, that didn't even matter. It looked terrible, but then they're all just like, oh, we all have solutions. There's 3 BKBs, boom, easy, no problem.
Let's see it again. So it looks like a fantastic start from OG. They see Dendy, he's a great jump in, and then Lil. Everybody looks tired, and they wait.
5-man Meteor Hammer, but 3 BKBs, Yules to disable most of the damage, and Glimmer. No problem at all. OG's been building for that moment all game, and they're losing fights in different ways that they don't expect. I think they just thought like, man, Song into Disruptor ulti, as long as we beat that, we're fine. But they're just taking these fights they think they can win, and Navi's beating them. Yep. But not that last one.
It's interesting to see, like, is there any other item you would even go on the Morphling? He's still going to finish up his build with the Butterfly. And the only reason I say this is because you got the Monkey King bar on the Razor. You still okay with it?
I think so, because OD does not want to buy an MKB. Razor can buy it, but he still has to sap damage to be a threat. But OD is not, like, you can buy MKB and OD now, but you'd still much rather have a Scythe of Ice or a Shiva's Guard or something. So absolutely worth it. Huge damage amp, tons of attack speed, lots more armor. It's definitely worth it.
Oh, Resolution, being the man he really wants to be, 224, almost 25,000 in the net worth. This game, though, there's not that much between the two teams. Like we're sitting in 2K. Even the experience is around 4,000. This game is close. NAVI has the mid lane advantage. OG has the bottom. I'm actually wondering still who has the better chance here, because like...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because when you've got the BTs on Resolution and that bottom lane continues to push in, it won't take much for him to just jump through the bottom lane and bounce into mid and get that second lane of rank. So how does NAVI control that? Like, how does NAVI actually punish Resolution if he attempts such a thing?
They got Disruptor, they've got Beastmaster, they have some solutions. They've got Song of the Siren, they have a lot of ways to catch him. But that is certainly a way that OG could try to exploit this game, is split pushing. Even Jerix, for example, I just checked that talent. He's got the 200 rolling boulder damage at 15. He can rolling boulder twice within 4 seconds and kill an entire creep wave. It's actually really easy for a lot of OG's heroes to split push right now. So that's definitely a place where OG's got a nice advantage, especially because there's so many uncovered barracks, even though they've been racks themselves.
Lil's very close to his next big item. So Song of the Siren was fantastic for him last time. He's going Aghanim Scepter and he's 80 gold shy of it. His illusions up on top were actually getting him a large amount of that cash. Resolution, yep, there goes your Lincolns. They tried to, oh actually, yeah they did. They got the glimpse off Resolution, not BK being to protect. He's waiting it out. Here comes your kick. The E-Blade pop goes into OD. But he's very happy to fight. NAVI, that's a good high ground observer ward.
Huh.
Lets them actually see OG and what they're trying to fight.
Very safe on their BKBs there. Seen a lot more patience out of that lately from pro teams. I'm not sure necessarily what the shift was mentality-wise, but they are saving those things if they don't need to use them. Whereas in the past, people would be like, I don't want to die. That's more important than losing my BKB. Now they save both. Maybe because more people are willing to use buybacks is probably why. BKB is in some ways more important than dying twice, or dying once and buying. So, interesting so far. But good map control for OG. I feel like they have the upper hand here just because it's easier for them to get kills between E-Blade stuff. Morphling is quite probably, I think it's safe to say Morphling is top 5, maybe top 3 late game carries in the entire game. Just because of his variety of what he can accomplish in terms of physical damage, magic nukes. He just killed an entire creep wave with 1 adaptive strike, so he went the +2 adaptive perk. Interesting choice. I haven't seen it that often. +2 multi-shot adaptive. It's either that or 2 waveform charges. And now he just one-shots entire neutrals. While also doing potentially like 400 magic damage. Weighs way more than that. Oh god, it's so much damage. He does like 1,000 magic damage with adaptive strike right now. That's actually so insane.
Nice here.
Yeah, does 1,000 damage.
We'll see if they can find such a beast. The illusions are scouting out a lot of positioning here of OG. Fly actually just uses paralyzing cast too. But NAVI, they throw the wild axes from inside the trees. Oh, no, you took too much damage already. It's a double damage rune into Resolution. They want to fight now, OG. There's the jump in. S4 goes into the Brewmaster split, looking for the stun. Crystallize very quickly away. Protected by the Glimmer Cape, but it's the Storm Brewing, moving quickly and fast. What's he going to find? He finds Dendy, he finds a lot of things, but they're not going on anything because they're all looking in towards the mid lane. Resolution fighting the backdoor regeneration with that double damage rune, and now they roll back out again. You cancel the TP, but S4 does his own TP out. The glimpse will stop him. He will not survive. Resolution cannot get over in time. Crystallizes nearby. Resolution, Lincolns for Lincolns. They can waveform forward.
Wow.
LeBron just gets evaporated. But Notel has to BKB, breaks free, goes after Dendy. Lil turns on the Song of the Siren. They want to get that extra regeneration in as well. Crystallize continues to run away from the exorcism of the Death Prophet.
Well, they clear the creeps at least, and 1 for 1, not the best for OG. If only the creeps were there, they definitely could have taken the racks with the double damage, but they instead went back to what S4 had caught. It looks so good. S4 bought time. They were able to hit barracks, but then there's no creeps there. Say they go back and commit to the fight, but S4 died for it. Not the best circumstances.
They can look towards Roshan. So Song of the Siren is down for 50 seconds. Roshan will respawn in 30 seconds, so they'll have a 15-second window.
But they also have no exorcism, so that's kind of just a disengage is what it feels like here for OG.
It's going to be all on the Morphling, but Morphling, he's buying out for this. Like the buybacks are not available for the Morph right now.
He just one-shot on Ancient Camp. That was pretty good. Every 10 seconds, not bad. I mean, he's 6-slotted.
Have you found your new build for Pups, have you, Kevin?
No, I mean, I fiended Morphling a lot right when he got changed in the previous. I was ahead of the meta for once, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
But it's okay.
More credit where it's due.
He's got great items. He's basically just, 49 armor. It's okay. It's a pretty good amount of armor. Not bad.
Hey, you can have a little bit more once the Assault Cuirass gets completed on the Brewmaster.
That's true.
That's what he's going in for next.
It'll be a while. They just need to find good team fight starts. They tried really hard to start that fight because of the DD. That's why S4 forced it so hard, but unfortunately the blink comes out. They still try to force it. Still doesn't work. It was a hard position to be in for them. But either way, I still feel like they're farming well. Those 2 items are really scary, though.
Nullifier and Scythe.
Yeah, Scythe on Beastmaster looks amazing. That's a roar into Hex, potentially, if they find somebody.
That's a fun item on Jirax, too. You've actually got yourself a Heaven's Howl, but this can become more important considering how early those BKBs will arrive. So, like, Crystallize is down to a 5-second BKB, and Dendy's got a 7-second. They jump in, Resolution roared up. They're going to keep pushing him away. Glimmer Cape Protection, too, as the BKBs are there. Song of the Siren. Lil jumps in deep. They want to isolate Notel, but now they have to turn off the song because they're isolating themselves. The Storm is down, but the damage from Resolution, it's so big. Crystallize can't survive this. Resolution, he just stands all ground, killing off almost all of NAVI. He can't get the triple kill because Fly took out Dendy. But they're going in deep, no buybacks available, and this is going to be serious damage to the base of NAVI. Unless Jirax gets himself killed, he enticed General enough to stick around, and there it is. GG is called.
Man.
As OG, it's been going back and forth, the tussle, but finally Resolution is able to stand his ground in the fight, and NAVI don't get the advantage.
That was an uphill battle for OG, and it really shouldn't have been. But they finally pull it out in the end. It works out. They get a good engagement. I actually feel like the song ruined that fight for NAVI there. They thought, oh, it's BKB on the Death Prophet. We can pick her off here. And then all of a sudden it ran out. And then they go, oh, we should have just killed that other guy that we were going to kill, but song prevented.
And I spent all that money on the Academ Scepter, so we were actually able to get something back, and then we used like only 3 seconds of the song.
Yeah, just to buy an opportunity to kill the guy with BKB. So that was a bit of a... Finally, NAVI made a moderate mistake, I think, in the team fight there. So
we can watch back now over the game. So this is 14 minutes in. And it's the...
This fight looks so good for OG. Initiate on General, looks like a guaranteed death, but Lil had so many saves on Song, actually. That was like the one time he made a bit of a mistake, I think. He played amazing this game.
Yep.
Guaranteed Beastmaster kill, but they were unable to catch the follow-up teleports, so everybody gets out, and no more advantage for OG. Like, between Glimpse and Song, they just controlled so many of these engagements and forced OG to have to play certain ways.
I love how we're watching so many of the good fights for NAVI, too. Like, this is that moment when, like, Denny should have been, like, completely dead to rights, but it took so much time, and then Crystallize just goes to work. Yeah,
stole a bunch of damage from Jirax there while he was in the air, and then Jirax realizes how hard he hits up plus 100 damage, and he's got Yules, and he's pretty fast, so he just chases everybody down.
Yep. Multiple plasma field charges, he can get off in the fight, so it's that great mix of damage that NAVI were able to get throughout the entire series. Like, they were never locked into just one element, especially when that Razor could do more. This for me was the start of, like, the slippery little sucker moment. Like, we thought we had the Morphling, we don't have Jack.
Yeah, they just a little bit late on loading the damage through, and the Ghost Scepter pays off, keeps Resolution alive, and they're able to turn the fight. But even still, every single one of these engagements that went against NAVI weren't that great. Another big tub moment here with NAVI, or with OG, sorry, dropping...
walking up that hill into a blind area, trying to get the vision. I'm really surprised that Fly was actually doing that, considering not having an Observer and Sentry battle on that hill only 2 minutes before. So it was a little bit odd, to say the least. And then the BKB move of Dendy really causing a lot of problems for Resolution.
Yeah, it's trying to get a kill if possible. I didn't even notice Jirax went in too.
Yeah.
So Jirax sacrificing himself just so they could kill LeBron, and Morphling ends up dying afterwards anyways to the Great Banish.
There's 0.0 second left TP.
That's a lot of damage output. Not much Rezo can do at that point, especially with the mana drain. So
yeah.
Navi honestly fought very well considering the circumstances. This fight was huge. Picking up Fly at the beginning. It was a nice grab. Getting Maledict out of there just solved so many problems. They killed S4 right before his ultimate right there. That was crucial. And then at this point, No-Tail's like, oh, I'm by myself. Not good.
Yeah, didn't have enough support. But even the BKB timings were also a little bit odd. Like, they took so much damage at the beginning, and Dendy, like, he didn't even steal that much intel. Like, we didn't have the big sounding eclipses that were going to, like, just change the fight, the course of every single battle. It really, it felt like the Crystallized show from Navi in a lot of these fights. He had a good fight, everything was good, and he got that space because of the supports.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I still think Low played amazing. LeBron had a they also.
Yeah.
But OG definitely looked like the better team, I think. They had better rotations. They turned out kills a lot more often. They just are having some late game problems.
Yeah, I think it's like those big group fights, which Like we talk about like how they look strong, they look good, but then you have moments like this, like yeah, your items were at the right place, so they could actually counter it. But having all 5 heroes grouped up like that in the first place to get caught by a Naga sleep, either it was an intentional bait or it's just one of those problems that other teams will actually punish harder.
I mean, based on how that fight went with their items, they should have done that more often. Like, honestly, if they would have just said, okay, if we can easily trade our BKBs for Song and all of your scary ultimates, totally worth it. That could have been Static Storm, Meteor Hammer, Song of Siren gone instantly. And if they start every fight like that, they'll win the game.
Yeah.
Because that was the one good fight they had. It looked the worst moment, ended up being the best moment for the whole game for OG.
Yeah.
So they built for that moment, and all the other moments did not happen until there. So it was like they just kept getting behind and behind. But
you want to just ignore the rest of the game. Like that moment is all that counts. That's when everything swung.
They're having some late game issues, is what it seems like. They're just being slightly outmaneuvered. They're going for things that they think maybe they can grab. I mean, the graph was very good for them at the start of the game, and kept being good, and then got bad and good and bad. It just seemed a little wishy-washy, I guess. This
was a game of swingers, really. Like it was, or if we want to keep using the analogy we used during the game, we were slipping from one side of the bathtub to the other. I don't know.
I would say part of that is the heroes they had, in that they probably didn't want Brewmaster as their 5th. If they had an offlaner that could initiate with a stun, like a Sand King, or something like a Centaur, or something that can start a fight so that Morphling can follow up, that would be easier. But instead they relied on it to be Earth Spirit, who blink Boulder Smashes. You don't really want him necessarily to be the one to go in. So it was like hard for OG to actually jump in and take fights in these engagements. It's very difficult.
But it did make sense, though, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, S4, he had a hard time, but he still got that 9-minute blink dagger. He still got a lot out of the lane because they were able to rotate around, and the Brewmaster can at least fight in that early point to get CS.
Yeah.
Even if you can't, like, instantly get the kill, but gets the blink dagger, creates the chaos with the split, but and again, it made sense.
But their issue is closing the game out. Yeah. And absolutely, he played great. He played his hero perfectly, made some small mistakes, but they needed a hero maybe that can start a gank and get a kill, start a gank in a good late game way, which is an instant blink stun, almost always.
I'm wondering if they like change around the way they draft for that last one then, because like the Bat Rider was banned out in the very last phase, and like that would have been like that hero. You're like everything you're describing is Bat Rider.
But there were a lot of bans against S4 that game.
Yeah.
They read his Yelp reviews and they knew they had to prevent him from joining the market. So I think it made sense what they did. I think S4 played well. I think the Brew fit into their lineup. They just had some late game mistakes. They need to maybe shore up those difficulties in a different way.
Yeah. So MVP, you know, for me personally, I want to give it to the losing team. I actually want to give it to Lil. Out of everyone, I thought there were a lot of good plays that came out. I think at the end of the day, like I wouldn't want to just give it to Resolution. What do you think?
I think Resolution played well. I think his Morphling was very good. I would say Flyer Jarex probably gets MVP for me in that game. If we're looking at the winning team, Jarex was 8-4-7. He did more damage than everybody except for MU's 3rd damage dealer.
It seems production agrees with you. Dude, we're going for Fly.
Fly's rotations in the early mid game were ownage. That was why they were so far ahead, and it basically protected them from having a Morphling that can't compete very well with Razor or Outworld. It like guaranteed that Morphling was going to be on like an equal or better farm level against heroes that he's better in the late game against.
Yeah.
And that is so valuable. Like, Witch Doctor is this man's hero. He makes the ganks work. He makes the rotations work. He makes everything feel easy until he goes uphill and tries to do work.
Maybe that's the reason why I'm thinking of Lil, because it did look way too easy. Like the 2 ganks they got on Crystallize on the bottom lane, he was out by himself, and it's hard to think that this was meant to be like their one position, Navi. Like they lost their cause time and time again, and where was the response? Where was the big reactions? Like, okay, well, it's okay. Denny's going to find farm. And then,
but that's what's hard. If you're so fast at going from one gank to the next, that it's hard. If you don't anticipate them or see your enemies moving, then you won't necessarily be there in time.
Yeah.
Like and they had less mobile heroes between Disruptor and Naga Siren, especially pre-6. What is Naga going to do in a support rotation? Like you're going to TP in and like net somebody as your guy's about to die.
I will give you Riptide and I will be a sponge. That's the only thing. Like you just walk up with your armor.
Please, yeah. Like it's very difficult to react in a strong way with their heroes. They were obviously very good at team fighting, but I think OG's heroes were really good at setting tempo. They absolutely did that. They gave Rezo the late game. Things got a little messy, but they made it work.
Yeah. They did. So our next game, Newbie versus Vega, is what will be coming up. We cannot wait to get into that one. It'll be our last game of the day, and then we'll also have the draw to see which teams will play up against which teams after that. So whatever happens, keep your stream up, and we will be back.